Hello, happy full moon in Virgo. Hope you're all doing well. So, it's actually the energy of this full moon it's not so bad, really. It's, how would I describe it? How has it been affecting me? How have I found it? It's felt gentle. It hasn't felt like I've needed to purge so much, you know. It's been more just like a gentle nudge in the right direction, like a gentle, nurturing, mothering sort of energy, actually. Stuff has come up to the surface, for sure. Stuff has come up to the surface and I've had like some emotional purging, right? I'll be in like a meditative state. Stuff will come up from things that I felt like I healed years and years ago, right? And it would just come up. And like, you know, as everything spirals, right? I was saying this to a friend of mine, how everything spirals back around. You feel like you've healed from something and, you know, years and years later it can come back, spiral around life. It kind of reminds you, it's almost like a grieving of the person who you were back then, and you have a moment where you really like have to purge that, you know, and just release it, you know. So yeah, I've experienced that. I've also experienced intense hay fever, partially because we are coming into spring, of course, and I was cleaning out my rabbits, and I think they're molting, obviously their winter fur at the moment, and I must have just like inhaled a lot of their fur, because Binks, my lion head rabbit, he always loves little third eye kisses here, so I always give him a kiss every morning. Normally I'm fine, I always kiss him every morning, but Binks will sit there and protest unless I give him a kiss, right? So that's what I thought was the reason for the insane hay fever. I could not see. I couldn't go anywhere. It was literally like a purging through my eyes and nose. I could not stop crying. I was absolutely fine. I felt absolutely fine. I'm really happy, actually. Really happy. It's been a really happy week. But yeah, my eyes were just like, if I went to the shops, it looked like I was grieving like the loss of a loved one, because I just could not stop my eyes from streaming. I'd taken antihistamine. I had washed my eyes with an eye bath. Yeah, and nothing was budging it for a whole day. I was like this, and all night as well. I had like tissue on my pillow because my eyes were just constantly stinging. It was just constant, like stinging and just constant streaming of tears, right? So maybe energetically I needed to purge something this full moon, right? That's what I believe anyway. But the next morning it was pretty bad. I'd washed my eyes out again in the morning. I'd washed my face several times, you know, because the pollen can stay in your hair and on your skin. And I actually had a shower, really hot shower, like full steam, kept the windows closed just to steam it all out. I still sound a bit congested now. My nose has only just started to feel comfortable. It felt like I'd been hit in the face by a frying pan because my nose was just so sore. So yeah, it has been leading up to the full moon. It's been like a complete purge, completely actually, emotionally and physically. And of course we've got Venus and Mars in conjunct with Aquarius at the moment, so everything is feeling a little bit unpredictable anyway. But also I'm feeling super organised. Just like my energy tends to be a little bit scattered, you know. I go with the flow of how I feel that day. I kind of check in with what I feel most called to do, right? And I usually go with that. I go in with my instinct on what I feel most called to do. I do thrive in routine as well, being a Taurus, right? I do like to have routine. I have Libra rising, so it's about that balance for me, making sure that I balance my Sagittarius moon energy, which is a little bit, hey, let's just go do this, let's just go be like completely spontaneous, right? And and do this stuff, and then my Libra rising is like, no, come on, we need some balance here, we need to balance this out. Of course, at Taurus sun as well. So yeah, so this full moon I found has really been helpful for me, being generally an earth sign, right? It's been really grounding for me. I wonder how it's been for you as well. Let me know in the comments how you have experienced this energy, right? And new ideas, like new innovative ideas, definitely coming through with this Aquarius energy. Just, you know, like not the norm, right? You might be inspired to do things that aren't the normal way that we've seen it being done, right? You could be called to, you know, start your path, do whatever it is that you are doing, but in a new innovative way. And I really feel like this is an exciting time to start new endeavors, new opportunities, new business ideas, right? Especially stuff that is really aligned with what is right for this new earth, right? This new alignment that the planet is coming into. We are all part of. We are all, I believe we're all here to carve our own path, to sort of like trailblaze and start new opportunities and new things that help us thrive, right? Not just in a material way, but also motivates and inspires others. And it has like that ripple effect, right, where it motivates and it inspires everybody around you. You could have somebody who's really good at, say, gardening, for example. I'm going to use this as an example because it's the sort of thing that I feel naturally drawn to, right? You could know somebody who's just a natural with growing plants, right? They have that energy about them that is very nurturing, and they're great for that. And they might have an idea or a business idea or like a spark of motivation, right? That is calling them to do something that is not the norm. It's not the norm. Maybe where they are, it might not be the norm in their culture or where they are on the planet, right? But they're being called to that destiny because it's aligned with their values, with their core truth, with their authentic vibration, right? So it's about tuning into that, even if it's a little bit out there and a little bit different than what you may have seen growing up. And I feel like this is something I touched on already in a previous card reading I did. Sat in the car. This is before the hay fever came on, before I literally felt like death for an entire day. Like, you got to purge any of that resistance out of you, right? Any of that resistance that makes you feel like you aren't worth that journey, and to purge that out of you. And I really feel like that's what this full moon, this energy right now is about bringing forward more gentle Venusian energy, right? More, how can I explain this in a way that doesn't sound, it's just more about that, it's that nurturing energy. And actually, you know, I pulled a card today. I'm gonna get it, hold on. I don't know if I can pronounce this right. Maya Shan, yeah, Princess of Mercy. It's not going to focus if I hold it too close. Right, so this card here is actually this one and Sekhmet that came out. Sekhmet is a card that has come out for me before in the past. It comes out quite a lot for me actually. And I was previously talking to someone about the name Sekhmet, right? And it's interesting because Sekhmet obviously is a lion archetype, right? And we have a tiger here in this card with Maishan. And she was actually thrown to the lions, I believe it was, in a den of lions. This is the story, her story right behind this card. She was a princess and she was supposed to marry and follow this path for her dynasty, right? And she didn't want to do that, and she refused to be married into she refused this path, right? She had her own calling and she chose to follow that calling, even though it put her at risk and her own father ordered her to be executed and tried to execute her, apparently, because she had so much compassion and love. Apparently, the story goes she was the embodiment of the goddess Kuan Yin. Yeah, Kuan Yin. And, you know, the story goes that the lions were at her feet and they didn't wish to eat her. I don't know. I can't say the whole story off by heart, because this card has come out a couple of times for me though. And it's about standing in your authentic power, but also through compassion and empathy, right? And often empathy is seen as such a weakness to our society, or it has been seen as a weakness, but actually it is a huge strength to have compassion for people who essentially were your enemies, right? People who treated you so badly, and yet you can still transform that, because there's butterflies in the card here. You can still alchemize and transform. The word I'm looking for is transmute, okay? With her compassion, you can transmute that hate, that anger. And this is the same in this purging energy that we're in for this full moon, is that we can purge that out of us through compassion and empathy. And I know that is hard to do. A lot of people will say, well, hang on, like, this person was so cruel to me, this person did all of these horrible, terrible things to me, okay? And yes, it's not easy for us to be on that path and to go through that, and to go through so much pain, right? But it's about staying true to your authentic self no matter what, and being authentic and true to yourself, because it is essentially self-love, okay? And showing your soul, not just who you are physically, but your actual being, your actual life force energy, your soul, you know, came here to experience and is still here to experience so much, and to show that compassion, empathy and love towards yourself. You know, some people will say, oh, if you're always too kind to people, you'll be a doormat, right? People will walk all over you and they will treat you in a way that, you know, where you are taken advantage of. But you can still be in this compassionate energy and still have boundaries and still say no to things that are harmful to you. It's not that we don't have boundaries for things like that. It's about staying true to yourself and knowing your self-worth, right? But also having so much compassion and love, not just for yourself, but for others who are expressing discord, okay? You see through the facade, you see through what they might be projecting onto you, and however they do that, right? You see the pain through this person and what they're experiencing, and you show them compassion, you show them empathy, and you show them love, because you see their divine inner life force energy also, okay? And it's a really difficult one, because, you know, our planet is a planet of polarity, and there is so much bad and negative forces out there that, you know, I will not go into right now, because we could go down another rabbit hole going through this. But I really do believe that the souls that came here and decided to stay in their compassionate power are the ones also, I'm not saying only, but also that are making a change to this world right now, right? And it may not just be in the physical either. Okay, this may be in your dreams as well, on your dream side, on the astral realms, right? We are making waves over there as well as in the physical. So it's not just what we do physically, and our energy in the physical, but also our energy in the astral realms also. Yeah, so I felt really called to talk about that today. I'd love to hear your experiences, your thoughts in the comments. Do share with me your thoughts. What have you experienced in this full moon as well? You know, I've had opportunities that have come through for me that I never would have thought I would do. Like, I may have considered, you know, different paths that I may have taken, but, you know, sometimes when opportunities fall into your lap in a new way and you question your self-worth for something, right? You question, am I the best to do that? Can I do this better? Like, not better. It's not about being better than anyone else, right? but can I do this to the best of my ability? And am I going to be any good at that? And don't doubt yourself on what it is, because we're here to grow, change, evolve, and we might not be great at something at first. It's about getting to know yourself as well in that process, and no one else can do it for you, right? Only you can step into your own true power, and only you can make an imprint, a change, a ripple in this experience, in this world, in this quantum moment, okay? That you can make that change, and not just for yourself, but for others, and how to motivate others as well. And don't question yourself either on, oh, who am I to make that change? Who am I to think that I can do that? Who am I to think that what I am doing is more, my voice is more important than someone else who has been doing this for a long time, right? But it's not about judging yourself. When we judge ourselves to the point where the ego gets in the way and we self-sabotage and we don't take chances, then it's a disservice to ourselves, right? It's a disservice to anyone that could experience what it is that you came here to give, to manifest, and to express. I don't know why my words sometimes, it's so hard sometimes for me to say the words that I'm feeling. Does anyone else get this? I know that I do this a lot. Sometimes I have to pause, hesitate, I have to think, and I have to like kind of clarify what exactly it is that I mean. And so apologies if that comes across a bit annoying, but sometimes like it's really important to like feel in. And that might be because of my personality type, right? I believe an INFJ or an INFTP, but I resonate more with INFJ. Who, you know, INFJs, they use their intuition, their feeling for something. Like sometimes I would get something to eat when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and I used to be so, my relationship with eating was really, really bad. I didn't have the best examples growing up, right? Sometimes like the place that you're in energetically can affect things like that. But it was more that like I would ask myself, what do I feel like eating? What do I feel like feel like, what do I feel like putting into my mouth? It was such a random thing to say, and some people would, like, I'd say to friends, they wouldn't understand, like, what do you mean, what do you feel like eating? But it was, for me, it was more energetically, what do I feel like eating, right? And it's the same, you kind of have to ask yourself the same thing with the experiences that you want to experience, right? I think we just switch that off. We switch that off and we think, oh, well, I have to do it this way, and I have to experience these things this way in life. I have to do them this way because that's how we as a society, as humans, that's how we do it, right? But do we really tune into our senses, into our intuition, into our bodies, like fully, and ask ourselves, right, does this feel good for me? And if it's 100% yes, as we know, then we do that. Then we're guided to do that, right? And if we're feeling like, oh no, because not everybody does it that way, and not everybody does this thing because it's new, right? Oh, that's fear. That isn't, you know, unless you try and experience something, you're not going to know if it's really right for you, right? And it might just be a case of taking the time to go inward, journal, meditate, however that looks for you, to feel in fully without the fear, to get yourself into a place where you can let go of fear around something. And when the fear subsides, then you can ask yourself again, how do I feel about this? And then you'll know. Then it will feel either yes or no, this isn't right for me, and you'll know. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful. I really want to do more videos like this where it just feels like I am checking in with fam, right? I'm checking in with you guys, and you know, it's meant to reach who it's meant to reach. I'm not thinking too much about the context of the video. What I'm saying, it's more like an energetic exchange. So yeah, let me know if you like these kind of videos. I definitely want to do more like this. I feel like every now and then it's just so good to check in, especially with you guys to sort of get to know you and to understand my audience, right? And energetically as well, just to energetically put out there, you know, my experience and how I'm experiencing this life experience on earth. And yeah, you may feel called to share with me how you're experiencing it too. So also, don't forget to have your fluid intake regularly. Please do not do what I do and just wait until you are a stuffy congested mess, because that's no good. And yeah, sending you guys so much love out there wherever you are. And as we're coming into Pisces season, think about what it is that you would like to bring in. What is it that you are going to be experiencing this Pisces season? And, you know, Pisces season being the dreamy, fluid state, right? Getting yourself into like the flow of where you're being called, and movement as well. Move your body, make sure you're moving. Don't be too stagnant. Left ear ringing, just as I said that. And find new things that spark you up, right? And do more of that. So yeah, sending you so much love, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.